All right, quick video today. I just wanted to give you all some tips and some observations that I've found after using the Picopresso for a few months now. And basically, for me, the biggest limitation of the Picopresso is pulling anything lighter than, I would say, a medium. Even sometimes medium is really pushing it. That kind of limitation exists, in my opinion, mainly for the machine in its stock form. So I want to make some suggestions today on how to actually pull some of those lighter roast coffees using a Picopresso. And it's kind of just three things. Two of them are going to be some equipment upgrades you can get, and then the third one's just a profile. Now, let me get right into it. Basically, the stock form of the Picopresso is great. I actually love this machine, but you run into some problems no matter how hardcore you preheat. And this might only apply to some of you folks with more sensitive palates, but it's really this basket here. This is kind of the biggest limitation of the Picopresso, and that's because it's a chamfered basket like this. It kind of goes in. This allows you to use coarser grinds with this, but the biggest issue is that your puck doesn't actually extract evenly throughout, and that's just because the walls are not straight. But this is a bit more forgiving for folks who aren't using super high-end grinders or using grinders that won't allow them to grind ultra fine. The biggest upgrade to me in cup is this right here. This is a 51 millimeter IMS 14 gram basket. It actually comes from my Pavoni. This is probably the best 51 millimeter basket for 14 grams. And this allows me to grind actually fairly fine, but it allows me to actually get a puck that extracts fairly evenly. And if you compare both of these baskets and you're using lighter roast coffees, you're actually going to be able to taste a significant difference here, aka your shots are going to taste much more extracted. And for me, I just get a much clearer result because the puck actually extracts more evenly. And while the stock basket is 18 grams, I much prefer this 14 gram basket. I've found at times it does let me push ratio slightly further because the Picopresso, I found it to max out. You can actually pull about 70 grams out. Switch to a straight wall basket. It's going to extract your puck much more evenly. And also for those of you who are using darker roast coffees, you should also be able to taste the difference here, but it's more so in some of these lighter roast coffees, especially things from, say, for example, that do require you to have the most even extraction. Now, the other thing that I found to help out the most is actually a Puckscreen. Really, this is kind of going to be applicable for the next thing I'm going to say, but essentially the Picopresso is fairly sensitive. I found that you can kind of do these like micro pumps a little, and you can really get in there and modulate your profile. The Puckscreen will actually help even out that water just a little bit more. So for example, if you wanted to go for something very aggressive, like an aggressive ramp for something like a turbo or a lever style profile, this Puckscreen will really allow you to get a more even introduction of water throughout the puck. I like this because it seems like I can get a little bit more flexibility in terms of what profiles I can pull using a straight wall basket and a really light roast, and traditionally speaking, roasts that won't visually extract as nicely. So finally, it's going to be a profile that's going to tie all of this together. And really, that's just constantly pumping at a very aggressive speed. Basically, we're going to be doing a turbo with a Picopresso. And because we have a Puckscreen, it allows us to avoid a bit of channeling or harsh introduction of water because of aggressive pumping. And that goes into our nice straight-walled IMS basket and gives us a really nice even flow. So basically, we're able to pump really aggressively to do a turbo style of shot, and it's going to actually extract fairly evenly. And I think you'll be able to taste all of this in cup. You just really want to do everything that you can to squeeze the most out of this little machine. I'm also finding people are just using this as a home machine, so I think you should have a WDT. This will really help you extract the most. But I am just doing 14 grams in here, and I'm actually going to pull to about 54 grams out, and I'm just going to use the exact same profile that I mentioned, which is just go for it. So the entire point of why you have this is so you can kind of really aggressively pump, and you can fill up the headspace. You can begin building pressure for an espresso. This will help slow that water down just a little bit so your puck will extract more evenly, and because you're using a straight walled basket, it's going to actually extract much more evenly than this chamfered normal basket here. Remember, put the Puckscreen in there, and I sometimes forget this, is the actual shower screen. Now you can actually insert everything in just empty and run some hot water through it, but I've found that it's kind of diminishing returns to have this bottom part actually heated. I couldn't really tell that big of a difference between non-preheated basket versus preheated basket. There is a point of diminishing returns with preheating this thing, is like it's small and it already does retain heat fairly well. And as long as you do 1 or 2 flushes, you're good to go. But I poured in that boiling water there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to target that longer ratio style of shot. And I'm really, really honestly just going to go for it. And that's what I found to work out the best. So anyway, here we are. And I'm just pumping fast like this. Just getting the water in there because I'm trying to do that turbo style of shot. You got to really aim this thing. All right. So this specific shot was around, this shot was around 48 grams, and it was a little messy there. So that's what happens is if you're really trying to do turbos with this, you gotta actually aim it. And that's something that could take a little bit of practice there. And this is a turbo style of shot, so visually it might not have a lot of crema, but again, this is for light roast folks. Light roast may not have a lot of crema in the first place. And this is the type of profile that I've been doing, just aggressive ramp up. And I'm finding that everything actually extracts fairly evenly. It's much better than using the stock basket. And that Puckscreen is assisting a little bit, but really change that basket, you're gonna be able to extract light roast coffees a lot better. But yeah, that is how you optimize the Picopresso. Pretty straightforward, just kind of a basket swap and changing the way you pull espresso. Pull turbos on this thing. Turbos on the Picopresso are legit, and using a straight walled basket is really gonna be the biggest benefit. Puckscreen is helpful, but not necessary. Changing that basket and doing turbos has really allowed me to push the Picopresso and allow me to actually pull shots across roast levels. And of course, you're gonna need to get a little bit better. It's a bit hard to do it at this angle. Look at my weights, and also Picopresso really, really fast. But aim that turbo into your cup and you will get a really nice extraction, especially if you are using a straight walled basket. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show off today, is pulling turbos on a Picopresso, using a straight walled basket, and using a Puckscreen will make your life a lot better, especially if you're trying to use the Picopresso as your only machine and you're trying to pull roast levels across the board. But that's all I wanted to show off today. Thank you for spending the time to watch the video. I'll see you around.